Which fictional character would still be alive if other characters had used a bit of common sense? Marvin from Pulp Fiction. Poor guy. Who swings a gun around like that without a safety on? Vincent, because he was a sloppy idiot. Vincent also died because he was a sloppy idiot. Edit. Yes, I was unaware he was on heroin. Still a dummy. I need to take a shit. Better leave my gun outside. Apollo Creed. How the living fuck did Rocky not throw in the towel? And afterwards, he made it so the doctors couldn't get to him because he was holding him for so damn long. King Kong. In retrospect, maybe New York City wasn't the smartest place to bring a gigantic gorilla. He would have fitted in perfectly in Florida. Would they even have noticed him in Australia? I mean, they already have giant everything else. Just throw him into the Sydney Opera House and feed him. Pretty much everybody from Jurassic Park 2. InGen set up a defensible position after capturing a bunch of herbivores to bring back for a park in San Diego. Then Nick, Vince Vaughn, breaks out all the dinosaurs which proceed to rampage through the camp, destroying the perimeter walls. Since he's been sniffing glue since kindergarten, Nick decides it would be a fantastic idea to bring an injured baby T-Rex back to his team. This predictably draws in the parents, which eat Eddie. After being rescued by the InGen team who he just screwed over and endangered, Nick sabotages the bullets in the elephant gun the lead InGen contractor carries. You know, the one weapon they have against the T-Rexes whose fury Nick brought down on them. When the hunter has the T-Rex in his sights, he is unable to put the animal down and save everyone. This leads to a few of them getting eaten, and the rest running right into raptor territory and mostly getting picked off. After losing all of the plant-eating dinosaurs and already having a tranquilized T-Rex sitting there, the only way for InGen to recoup their losses for the trip is to bring the Rex back instead, which kicks off the disaster in San Diego. The movie talks about Nick being in a fringe movement of Greenpeace. Apparently, he's supposed to be a fanatical animal rights activist. Based on his decisions, I think he's more of a suicidally stupid crusader against human lives. But really, the masterstroke of idiocy, the magnum opus of moronic ineptitude, is performed by Sarah Julian Moore. This experienced field researcher travels to a dangerous island alone and without means of communication, endangering herself and the rescue team. She gets close enough to touch the dinosaurs, all while chastising the others and saying they can't disrupt so much as a blade of grass. All of that is bad enough, but then she performs surgery on the baby T-Rex, that numbskull Nick brought to the camp. Then this expert in her field travels across the island in a vest, covered in the baby T-Rex's blood, despite 1. Knowing the T-Rex's track by scent, 2. Seeing the T-Rexes act vindictive when it comes to their child, 3. And having the goddamn blood pointed out to her by InGen's big game hunter. She still wears the vest and leads the T-Rex to the survivors. She only realizes her mistake when the Rex is poking its head into her tent. Too stupid to live is a well-known movie trope. Somehow these characters surpass that label and are too stupid for anyone else to survive their idiocy. My man Eddie had it rough, saves everyone's ass, and gets ripped in half by 2 T-Rexes, and no one even acknowledged his death, except one line from Goldblum. Everyone in Evil Dead, if people would stop reading ominous Latin. Hey look, I found this really creepy old book bound in human skin, written in blood, and full of obviously evil demonic shit. I should read aloud from it. I saw Skyfall the other day. Don't keep the cyber terrorist in a cell completely controlled by computers for some reason, and then plug his computer into that system and allow it to run executables. And don't have a very convenient escape route very close to his cell. This question's practically written for the friends of Derek Zoolander. I'm sad now. Anyone want to get me a orange mocha frappuccino? Holy god. I had completely forgotten about this scene. That is hilarious. It's not like nobody else has lost their friends in a random gasoline fight. All of the deaths in Jurassic World stem from one scene when no one was using common sense. We can't get a visual on the creature. It must have escaped its enclosure. I'll go in to investigate. Wait, before you enter a death trap with a genetically modified killing machine / abomination, why don't we turn on the tracking device to see where it is? Oh yeah, it would have been pretty stupid to have rushed in when you were literally about to activate its chip. Huh, it's still there. Oh, now I see it. Looks like it can camouflage. Good thing we didn't release it to go on a killing spree in the park. Now go spend some time with your nephews, like you promised, you insensitive bitch. Should we go check via the maintenance entrance, or just open that big ass door? I believe they went in through a small man-sized door, and then when trying to escape the worker opened the bigger door. You definitely should not be able to open that door without like 2 people inserting a key and turning, nuclear missile style. Romeo and Juliet. Yeah, when have teenagers with a boner ever done anything with common sense though? Not them, everyone around them. If they'd just let them make out a bit and then actually had to have a conversation with each other instead of making eyes and thinking about naked activities, it would have sorted itself out. This is what people miss when they say R&J are just teenage morons. That's not the point. Teenagers are supposed to be morons. The problem is, all the adults around them, from their families to their nurses to the apothecary selling them poison, are being even more childish. That's the real tragedy of Romeo and Juliet. Beck in Netflix is you. Hell, if she alone had more common sense she'd still be alive. No, make sure he's fucking dead. Right? You finally got out and got a weapon and the upper hand. Keep freaking hitting him. The first off the top of my head is Hedwig of the Harry Potter books. Why have 7 Harry Potters in the chase screen when Hedwig died? Give the polyjuice to Harry, make him look like anyone else. Perhaps a muggle that happened by. Use a muggle car instead of brooms. Really grab any muggle technology like a walkie-talkie. Hermione and Harry grew up in the muggle world. Sure, there's some excuses for not using muggle tech in Hogwarts or other strong magical locations, but they could use it elsewhere. At the very least have the luggage sent another way. That's how the Death Eaters found out who was the real Harry. They saw Hedwig. Wicked Witch of the West. Remember how Superman lives in a house where kryptonite is kept lying around, in plain reach of visitors? I can't remember, but it seemed like the witch was just as surprised as everyone else. It also implies that, even though she surrounded herself with stank ass flying monkeys, she has never showered in her life. She probably smelled absolutely awful. My entire D&D party. Sorry guys. Oh. One time one of my friends came to the table with a stupid powerful character that nobody liked because of how strong it was. Fortunately another player had a stupid powerful weapon and a lack of common sense. I capitalized on the opportunity and used it to get rid of the first guy's character. Almost everyone was thrilled. Sirius Black. Come on, Dumbledore. Really? The gloom of Grimmauld Place parted, and a gleaming silver doe walked towards Sirius. Her beautiful head tilted, and her long starlight lashes fluttered. She opened her mouth, and the deep voice of Snape said, "Hey, fucker, are you still at your house?" All of our DR2's cast would live to the first game if Dutch WOUKD understand that a guy you've had for 6 months is less trustworthy than the man you've raised for 20 years. Edit. Just to clear it up, McCannot being trusted would prevent the Blackwater incident, so the gang wouldn't need to flee. If they didn't flee, Strauss never lends money. Therefore, Arthur wouldn't contract TB from the debtor. A major part of the Dothraki army, sending them all straight ahead in pitch black was, a questionable decision. In the snow, no less. Because we all know how accustomed to fighting in the snow they are. And with weapons, that wouldn't work against the whites. That was the original plan. They didn't know that Melisandre would come and light their Arax on fire. All of Jason Voorhees' victims from part 6 and onward would still be alive if Tommy Jarvis didn't angrily stab Jason's corpse with the gate spike that conducted lightning and resurrected him. Should've just tempered yourself and only burned him, Tommy. Watch that movie lately. Such a dumb thing to do, but great way of resurrecting a legendary character. Quicksilver, he has been shown to be faster than bullets then get shot. WTF. Such a waste of a fantastic character. IKR, have you seen the OSP video on character deaths? I highly recommend. Light from Death Note. If Mikami hadn't used the Death Note to write Misaura's name Light World 1, Mikami was stupid to not listen to someone he considered God. Light pretty much started his own downfall when he thought he was going to kill Elle on live TV. Ended up just showing his power and location. If he's just resisted the temptation and laid low, he could have made his way to the top in a few short years. Instead he made himself enemy #1. I remember in one of the Superman movies there is a tornado/storm, and while Clark and his mom get to safety, the dad is left behind like 200 feet away in the car, but shakes his head when Clark is about to save him because that would expose his identity. There was total chaos right then with a huge tornado happening, and he could have picked him up in a second and no one would be able to tell. Instead he just died for no reason. Solidly. That was so freaking stupid. There were probably half a dozen ways he could have used his powers to save his father. Worst case, he gets spotted and the family has to into witness protection or something. They wouldn't even need to explain it logically. There was a tornado and people are freaking out. Someone sees Clark saving his dad in some impossible way. It's okay. We were all stressed out and our minds act funny and see things. Maybe we wanted to see Clark run really fast to save his dad, but come on now. And you know what? Maybe he did run fast thanks to the wind from the tornado. We just imagined it to be a lot faster than it actually was. If Ned Stark had freaking told Bobby B that the fucked up Lannister runts were not his children, not trusted petty Baelish, and went out to help Stannis, the War of the Five Kings might have been avoided a wee bit longer, until most major houses rose against the Lannisters. Even being the richest of the 7 continents, would not have helped them. He didn't tell Bobby because he knew Robert would put all the children, Cersei, Tywin, Jaime, etc. to the sword. Bobby Wold burned Casterly Rock to the ground. Ned didn't want it to go that route, so he gave Cersei a chance to flee and run away before he told Robert. That's when she basically sent word to Lancel to get Robert drunk off while hunting. Obviously he made the wrong choice, but it was the honorable one. Half the characters in Infinity War, they literally had the gauntlet off, and then Star-Lord happened. If you had waited 20 more seconds, you cold views that on Thanos instead of the butt of your stupid gun. The heroes had a chance to stop Thanos from getting a stone, but refused out of principle. Cap didn't want to sacrifice Vision. Strange didn't want to destroy the Time Stone when Tony suggested it. Gamora gave up the location of the Soul Stone BC Thanos was torturing Nebula. Loki gave up the Space Stone BC Thanos was gonna kill Thor. Meanwhile, Thanos gets what he wants precisely because he is willing to kill someone he cares for, in his own twisted way. It's a lesson the good guys learn in Endgame. They're more than willing to sacrifice themselves, if that's what it takes. It was a selfish mentality in Infinity War. I don't want to sacrifice my friend, even though the alternative is sacrificing half of all living creatures. That may also include my friend. Functionally yes, but I think it's just sticking to superhero mentality for better or worse. Self-sacrifice is okay. Sacrificing others always means theirs has to be a better way. The end. Thanks for watching.